Oh, the recording is in progress. Welcome to OK Everyday, everybody, a podcast about transactional analysis or TA, where we continue diving into how to make our lives okay every day. Hey, Jason.
Hey, Ollie.
Now, before we get into today's episode, I'll ask you, our dear audience, to give us a stroke. Uh, Keep us going with the TA content. So please click that like button, hit the subscribe button, and updates will come your way when new episode comes out. And also click the bell so you're always aware of anything new that comes out on our channel on YouTube and Spotify. Now that's now that you've helped us with, fueled us going forward. Um, let's go to the main event. So, Jason, today we are talking about
The hurry up driver.
hurry up,
Yep.
hurry up, up,
So we actually did
hurry up.
it, Ollie. This is the last of the drivers. This is number five. So
Yeah, let's
five
go.
of
Let's go
five.
quickly
Yeah,
through it.
that's
Let's
right.
go
So
quickly through it.
for those of you, by the way, thank you. A stroke to everybody listening or watching. Thank you for sticking with us and kind of going through all these episodes. So if you remember, if you go back to the very first one, the very first driver, we talked about was be perfect. So we did an episode on be perfect, which we followed up by please others. Again, a lot of this
Hmm.
stuff is very intuitive. You know what we're talking about.
That's
The
true.
next one was try hard. Really important one, that one. And then the final one we did before this one is be strong. So
Hmm.
today we're going to unpack the hurry up, the very familiar hurry up driver.
Hmm.
What do you think, Ollie?
Well, it seemed well. The one thing that we won't do is hurry up unpacking
It's
the driver. I think we need to take time to unpack this driver. But I mean, all the drivers are very self-explanatory in
yeah,
a way, right? And I think what we're talking about a lot when talking about the drivers is how to find the balance between the good hurry up and the not so good hurry up. So how?
yeah. No, you're spot on. I mean, all of them have pros and cons, right? So it's not,
Mm,
and I'm very glad you mentioned that because it's not about kind of eradicating them.
mm-mm.
First of all, we can't, right? Because
All right.
they're part of our makeup. And we all have all five to a certain degree, but we'll have like probably two that are a little bit more dominant. So they're part of our makeup, and awareness really helps with the balance. But they're also kind of in society. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So these things actually play out. And like you and I have been looking at some of the characters associated with all of these
True.
drivers, and that's the good example of it being reinforced
Yeah,
in
yeah.
society or in the workplace. You know what I mean? So again, it's not about trying hard to get rid of them because that's not going to work. But how do we make them work for ourselves? Because
Mm,
as we'll see, even today, the hurry up driver has some really cool aspects to it. But then when we get stuck in it,
hmm.
it has some very negative connotations and consequences.
That's very true. I think for me, it's the hurry up driver. When I was reflecting on it, it's the sleeper driver. So like I never really
Oh,
think that I have it, but I have a lot of it. You know what I mean?
yeah. Or the creeper driver. It just creeps up and the
The
sleeper
ghost
creeper.
driver.
I think I saw that movie, The Ghost Driver. Oh no, that's Ghost Rider. But so, well, let's unpack it. So,
Yeah.
what's Taby Kaler? He's the guy behind all of this. He's the
Okay.
transaction analyst. So, what's he saying with the hurry up driver? Well, again, like you're saying, Ollie, it does what it says in the tin. It's usually when we're moving at pace, we're thinking quite quickly, we're trying to get too many things done.
Hmm.
Often, again, a lot of the stuff comes from childhood, and it'll come from the stress of the parents. So the parents are already under pressure. They're trying to over multitask sometimes. They're taking some things too
Right.
seriously. So they might kind of be rushing the children out the door, as
Hmm.
often as possible. Quick, 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 get to
Hmm.
school, get your bag. Quick, 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 I need to get to this.
Go, go,
Now,
go, go.
nowadays, you see it a lot with extracurricular stuff like sports. We got to go here, and we got to go here, we got to go here, we got to go here. And the poor parents are exhausting themselves because they're hurrying to everything. And of course, the
Mm.
kids are picking this up. They're seeing this kind of manic side of mom and dad trying to get so much done that they
Yeah.
feel the energy themselves. So they start to want to hurry up and get stuff done. Is that making sense?
That makes a lot of sense to me, uh, in a way that in older, so when I got a little bit older, I think teenage 20s, so a
Right.
teenager 20s, I actually had nightmares of being late.
Mm.
As in, my father, he had the concept of if you're on time, you're late kind of thing,
All right.
So if you're on time, you should be there like 10 minutes before everything starts, which put a lot of pressure of, just even leaving the house
Mm.
was a very pressurized moment because as a kid, you don't really necessarily grasp the concept of time. It's not very understandable. Like what's 10 minutes? It seems like a whole eternity, those 10 minutes. But for the adults, 10 minutes is like not that much. But yeah, the balance or the disbalance rather of hurrying up, always being on the move and never stopping. It's always kind of go, 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 go. We have to be there on time. Come on, let's go. And the dreams that I had was like I didn't even know that was in my subconscious.
Yeah, that's
That how
it's a beautiful example because how many people have an anxiety dream about being late?
mm,
So many people will. Like they've done something terribly bad and terribly wrong by turning up late. That example you gave is a brilliant one, Ollie, because that's the hurry up driver in action, right?
in
So
action indeed.
so like don't turn up on time. Turn up 10 minutes early. Do you know what I mean? So okay, now how do you adjust that back to make sure that that happens, right? The interesting part about it is it, it, the twist on that is give yourself more time. So turn up
Mm,
10 minutes so you can give yourself more time. That's the beauty of that message, but that gets missed in
yes.
having to hit this deadline, this new deadline that's been pushed ahead by 10 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, ironically, it led to a lot of behaviors that I was very late to a lot of meetings. But then
Ah,
by realizing that I don't like to be late, I don't like the feeling of being late, and then saying sorry for, a reason
mm.
that I could have just adjusted easily by going out 10 minutes earlier, it led to just me just being, well, on time or 5 minutes before time, but not because I want to be early or hurry up, just because I don't want to be in that rush of, being there.
Yeah, and this is like the antidote to kind of all of these drivers, but
Yeah.
particularly the hurry up drivers. That example there, Ollie, is you took on what you wanted, not
Yeah.
what you were told to do. And all of these drivers come from a told to do. But
Mm.
if we start to think, well, no, actually, I'm going to give myself time, and I
Hmm.
don't want to be late for myself, not because mom or dad told me, but for myself. So I'm going to be 5 minutes early so I can rest, kind of adjust into it. That's
I just
us
want to feel
changing.
okay. I want
Yes,
to
that's
feel
right.
okay.
Yeah, or
Exactly.
that's more okay with me
Yes.
than what my parents wanted. So that's
Wow.
how we kind of counter all of these drivers, is we adopt them ourselves for ourselves, not because we were told.
Mm.
Because sometimes if you think about the pros of the hurry up, sometimes you do have to do things at pace,
Yes.
for whatever reason. You
I
know,
think Usain Bolt could say that
yeah,
he
yeah,
did have to hurry up a bit.
with his gold medals, absolutely. But yeah, sometimes it's like, oh, some stuff has changed that we didn't predict.
Right.
So we have to adjust, and maybe do it faster to get through it, you know.
Hmm.
Um, in particular, hurry up is very good to get out of danger. So
Very true.
is that a car coming at me? No, get out of the way, run away. So that's where the hurry up driver is actually quite good, is move at pace, get yourself to safety. But of course, a lot of stuff isn't around safety. It's around just kind of everyday stuff. Yeah, and we'll
Definitely.
talk a little bit about workplace as well and where this can
Mm.
sit in. So the hurry up is okay when we need to do stuff fast, not a pinch,
Right. Right.
because stuff has adjusted, right?
Yes. And that does make sense. So it's our mostly reaction to something might require us hurrying up than us just being inherently at speed all the time, 100 miles an hour. Just
Yeah, which is a real risk nowadays with so much stimulus. I was actually just thinking of recently. I was getting a dart, like a train,
uh-huh.
and we were heading. We knew what the train time was, and we were just nicely adjusted towards doing that. And then we looked on the app, and that train had gone. In terms of it no longer existed. I don't know what happened. So we had to get an earlier one, which means we had to rush to get the earlier one. Now we rushed and got it. We didn't have to, but what it saved us was about an hour's wait. So
Mm.
that's adjusting to circumstance. And we got down to, oh God, I've made it, right. So that's okay. That's not no biggie, you know.
Yeah.
But if we were doing that for every train, That's not so
Yes,
good.
but in essence, it saved the fact that you hurried up, it saved you time,
Right.
right? So because I had the opposite example of I saw a train coming up to the station, and I was like, yeah, I know there's going to be another train in 10 minutes. I don't need to run for this one.
Right.
So, and whereas in my, like, I'd say maybe 5 or 7 years ago, I'd be, whoa, I need to get to
Yeah,
this train
that's
right
it.
now. And then I'm on the train. It's
Usain Bolt.
like, well, I think he wouldn't be proud of me. I'm proud of the effort.
They're throwing a bit of exercise.
But we also have a few characters lined up
Yeah.
that
Excuse me.
identify the hurry up driver. So why don't you kick us off
Yeah. Funny.
with the characters?
I struggled a little bit to find them because you have to kind of Google in a certain way. But an actor actually popped into my head, and then I realized, oh yeah, so he does this a lot. So Steve Martin
Oh, okay.
often would be like a kind of a manic kind of rush around, bounce around. And he's actually in a movie called Parenthood. He plays a
Mm.
character called Gil Bookman. And in that, he's kind of rushing around and he's trying to do too many things, his career, parenting, and he's kind of failing in both because it's not really kind
It's
of
not really
focused. Yeah.
working.
And but it's a lovely movie actually. It's got a lovely ending as well. So, but most of the movie he's kind of rushing around and getting it wrong. What about yourself, Ollie?
Yeah.
Who did you pick up?
Well, I have so the actor is Richard Griffiths, and the character is Uncle Vernon from the Harry Potter movie.
Oh
So it
yes,
was, I think, Dudley's dad, who was
the
kind of
lovely Dudley.
not even a stepdad to Harry Potter, but he's like the
Uncle.
foster family father, basically. Uncle. Oh yeah, he's.
Yeah, I think he
Oh
is.
my
Yeah.
God, that's what his name is. Uncle. I wrote down Uncle Vernon. But I think he's kind of a masterclass in being this aggressive, bullying version of Hurry Up. He always tells Harry Potter to move it, to hurry up, to do this quickly, get out of the way. All of this. He's living under a staircase for crying out
Mm-hmm.
loud. So
Mm.
he's not a very good version of this Hurry Up, but he's always desperate to force his own
Yeah.
way for everyone to move at his tempo, to do what he thinks is right, and to have this kind of vision maybe or absolute authority within the household. So that's his way I'm assuming manifesting some kind of power, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
real negative, right? Because
yeah,
he really
negative.
focuses that on Harry, but not on his son Dudley. He lets Dudley away
No,
with lots of stuff. Do you know what I
pretty
mean?
much anything.
Yeah. So I mean that's a great one. And actually, I had when I was thinking of uh, Steve Martin, another good friend of Steve Martin popped into my head, which is Martin Short. They
Mm,
often do things together.
yes.
And Martin Short is another kind of he it's actually inbuilt into him. I think that he's kind of a little bit manic, rushing around. But if you ever see the movie, it's an old classic called Inner Space, and there's a
Mm,
lot of rushing around and kind of Martin Short kind of making mistakes and getting it wrong and just not knowing what's happening, as opposed to slowing down and figuring out what's the plan, what are we going to do
mm.
here, So yeah, he kind of I think he lives a hurry up driver in
In
a
that
certain way.
in that energy. By the
Yeah.
way, the name of his Netflix special, I think, is it's a new one. It's only this year. I haven't watched it yet, so I think this is something that we can review. But it's Marty, Life is short.
Yeah.
Amazing name.
Yeah, and funny, there's a nearly a hurry up, get as cram as much in as possible into life because it's short. I have seen the documentary. It is one of the best things I've seen in a very, very long time. I
Wow,
laughed and
nice.
laughed. Very, very nice, man. What
Oh
else did
man.
you get?
So I've got just another one, which is an old TV series with Bryan Cranston in one of the main roles, but it's his wife in the TV series Lois. Um, I, I don't want to butcher her surname because it's kind of of Polish descent, so it's Jane Kaczmarek. I think that's the right way to pronounce it.
Better than I
But
would do, I tell you.
but, but her hurry up, and why I like this particular character is that her hurry up driver is basically a survival mechanism for the whole family. So she sees it as if I don't hurry up, if I don't have my will upon everything, this house, these children, my husband, everything will self-destruct. and everything would just go into oblivion. So it's kind of her way to hurry up driver and making everyone do what she thinks is right is the way of saving everyone. Maybe also kind of the drama triangle kind of way of
Oh, I see what you're
approaching
doing
this.
there.
But yeah, I think the hurry up there is that she's always on point. Everyone has their task. They're always going at a certain speed. They have to do something unless if they don't, everything just falls apart.
I think that's a that's a brilliant one, Ollie, because it raises something about the hurry up driver that is important to keep in mind. We often think things are much more important than they actually are. Right. So in that case, she's
Bingo.
feeling like that everything's going to crash down. And maybe it was in the series, but we put on this kind of extra layer of importance to things that make
Mm.
us got to do it quick, got to get it right, and actually that's where we trip up. When often when I think about the hurry up driver, there was an old saying in Ireland, I'm sure it's elsewhere, which is a never run with scissors. And so the idea is you might trip and stab yourself, right? So the idea is, if you're doing something important like carrying some scissors or knives, take your time. Don't run with it,
Yep.
right? Because you might get hurt. That actual example is you might get hurt. But
Oh
what,
wow.
mostly we kick into the hurry up drive because we're imagining things are much more important than they actually really are, right?
Right. Well,
And this,
I think we don't have we don't have a saying about scissors, but I do remember in my own personal experience that I don't run with bottles because when I was
oh,
5 years old, I ran with a bottle, tripped, and both my teeth went out.
oh no,
Uh,
that's a variation of that, but that's the real life example, that you're giving there.
that's the real life example. We're real here on this podcast. We're real here.
But speaking of real, let's look at what can happen in the workplace because
Oh,
that's
beautiful
often
segue.
where it can play out, right?
Yes, and I think the hurry up driver amongst all the others was even easier for me to find how it shows itself in the workplace. And there's a few a few kind of examples. What I would invite the audience, the listeners, and the viewers is also if you have your own examples, put them in the comments. We're curious to hear what you think how hurry up manifests in the workplace. But these are the few that popped out for me. One is the action bias. So it's about doing versus thinking. So whenever there's an idea, we don't take time to think it through and kind of maybe plan it out, but it has to be let's action it right now because we don't have enough time and the reasoning might be very different. Competitors are on us. We have to do something before some particular deadline, whatever. But it's like always, we don't think, let's just do it. Let's
Mm,
execute. Another way which I see hurry up manifesting in the workplace in terms of just interpersonal communication is hijacking conversations. So not letting people finish, or saying things like, "Yep, got it. Yep, okay, moving on. Yep, let's go." And you turn into Scatman John basically in the let's go moving on, you know? And but it's basically you see these colleagues that are interrupting people mid-sentences, finishing thoughts for them, fidgeting, tapping pens, checking laptops, doing that. So they're not present and they're always kind of in the next type of
Yeah,
thing.
that's
They're in the
that's a
next
great one,
step.
right? Because one of the things we talk about in transaction analysis is discounting.
Mm,
So not fully accounting for something. So
yeah,
if somebody's distracted and kind of, yeah, heard it before, move on, they're discounting the person and what they're saying, as
yeah.
unimportant, and that doesn't feel good, right? When that happens.
No, because you feel like if you're the recipient of that behavior, you feel that you're not being listened to. And if you're the giver of this kind of behavior, you're just not listening to you're just
Mm,
kind of essentially wasting the time of yourself and the person who's actually
mm.
trying to tell you something. But then if you follow them up, yeah, got it, moving on. I heard some keywords that make sense to me, and that's let's go. Um, so the other few things, one thing that, multitasking, I think you mentioned it also when you described the driver. So definitely that showcases in the workplace. It's like you see a person on a video call typing an email, responding to the chat messages to the people that are in the room. So that, so it's like they're responding in the chat messages there, talking to someone who just came in the room, and then there's chewing an energy bar and drinking a coffee at the same time. So it's like a Shiva with six hands doing amazing things, but just too much. So
Yeah,
again, I think it takes away from the presence, being in the moment. Not
yeah,
being okay with being here. And last but not least, I think it's deadlines. So this is where it's not always straightforward, but I think it's not only kind of doing something that had to be done yesterday, right? We had to do this yesterday. When does it have to be done? Yesterday, or ASAP. That's so when do we need to deliver this project, report, deadline, client pitch, whatever? ASAP. What does that mean
yeah,
exactly?
yeah,
And but the deadlines, I feel that this completely distorts the concept of priority, right? So it's like everything has to be urgent, everything has to be now, every single thing, even small email, has to be prioritized right now as high priority, ASAP, et cetera, et cetera. And I see also this. There's an element you mentioned discounting, and I think there's also an element of discounting in deadlining. Two verbs there. I've never heard it said like quite like that before, but discounting with deadlines is like, oh, this is an easy task. You can finish it by the end of the day.
yeah,
You know, just
yeah,
just don't take too much time on it. Finish it at the end of the day, and then you critique someone for doing a bad job because they did it until the end of the day when you told them to.
yeah.
It's like
I mean,
there's no way to win.
well, there's loads in there, and like this is how it really plays out. Like we're not making
Mm,
this stuff up.
no.
You do see it in everyday life. Like too many deadlines or too much stuff going on at the same time. Yeah, it's okay sometimes, but if it's happening a lot, then there's a problem, right? Because
Yeah.
the quality will be affected. People will start to move towards burnout. They'll get a little bit more ratty and kind of their tone. They'll be short with people. Actually, when people are speaking of Martin Short, when people are being short, when they're being a bit too snappy, that's usually because there's a hurry up going on inside them.
Mm,
And I love what you were talking about there as well, because often we can make things seem important and urgent, uh,
yeah.
and everything's important and urgent. It's like, well, that can't be right, right? But we get this pressure, and just as you popped into my head, you reminded me. So I know lots of people, especially with deadlines, they like to do the what's known as the 11th hour. They have plenty of time to work on something, but they leave it right to the end. And
I
then
know those people. I am those people.
and then the hurry up driver kicks in and they scramble. Now that's okay sometimes, right?
Mm,
But if you're always doing 11th hour, that means that hurry up is always being triggered, and
true.
therefore the quality may not be so good or might cause extra stress, that kind of stuff. So it's about
Yeah.
counterbalancing, knowing that we can do it if we need to, but do we need to do it all the time? Can we not give
Yeah,
ourselves a break?
I remember myself in uni at this point is that I always wished that before an exam I had an extra day to prepare. That's the hurry up driver, as in, like wishful thinking in the hurry up driver. It's like just one extra day.
Yeah, no, I know you did. You did have that extra day.
Just it happened
It's
before.
just in the
Yeah.
past.
Well, listen, we're at 23 minutes now, closing 25. How do you think we've unpacked the hurry up driver
I, do you
for
know,
for the listeners and the viewers?
I think we did real justice to Tabby Kaler's drivers, plural, all five, and ending up here with the especially the hurry up because it is so real. It is,
Hmm.
parents who are listening, I'm sure feel this when they're trying to,
Hmm.
there's just too much on in their diaries and they're trying to hit it all. That's time to go, look, slow down. Take that, which is, by the way, the counter to the hurry up driver is take your time. Slow down.
Hmm.
It's not as important as you think it is. Even take some stuff out of your diary. Give yourself a break. Don't just wait for those 2 weeks holidays a year
Yeah.
when you put on the brakes. No, no, no. Pepper it throughout the year so you give yourself more time. So I think we've done a really good job. What do you think, Ollie?
Shout out to Toby Kaler. Amazing five drivers, and I think we've actually. You're very right. We've showed that the drivers aren't bad or good. Like a lot of things in TA, it's not about good or bad. It's about finding that balance. And I think you nailed it by saying it's how you can use these drivers for something that works for you versus when it doesn't. And I think the best thing to ask, and because that's also the name of our podcast, is, am I okay in this particular moment? Does that make me okay? Am I being okay?
Mm.
And I think as long as we get an answer to that, it can help us understand whether or not we're imbalanced or disbalanced with either of the drivers or a mix of them or whatnot. Because sometimes the drivers don't come alone as well. They come in a bunch or a mix of,
Right.
hurry up with be perfect and be strong at the same time, and they're kind of pulling from different angles.
Yeah.
And then you kind of have to say, no, I'm not going to hurry. I'm going to be strong because I know why I'm doing this, and I'm definitely not going to be perfect because that's never going to happen.
Beautiful. Beautiful, sir.
So, dear viewers, dear listeners, thank you for being with us on this episode of OK Every Day, where Jason and I summed up and the five drivers of Taby Color's five drivers and talked about the hurry up driver. If you like this video, please press the like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're interested in transactional analysis or TA content, amazing, you're in the right place. Click the subscribe button and that bell, and we'll keep you informed of every OK Everyday episodes coming out. In any case, we really hope that you stay OK
Every day.
every day.